Alright everyone, welcome back to the Reptile Room. Today we are going to talk about the snakes, and here is Jane, and he is going to go in this water while you guys watch the intro. Consider subscribing, like, comment on the video, and we are going to check out some snakes. While Jane is taking a little bit of a soak because he had a rough shed, and it's that time of year where furnaces and heat gets turned back on more regularly and the air dries out. So it's really time to start keeping up on misting and keeping your water dishes, topped off and cleaned up and ready to go. So since we're going to talk about snakes, we have to let him soak a little bit. I wanted to tell you guys about the very first snake that I got, and that is Caboose. This is Caboose. This is my very first ball python, and it is a normal. Caboose is actually named after Red vs. Blue, for those of you who were nerds like me, who played a lot of Halo. And Red vs. Blue was a great show. All right, I don't like you S-ing up a whole lot. Now, all the snakes are pretty hungry, so we may just let Caboose. Now, Caboose is a big animal, so let's just watch Caboose cruise around for a sec. You see how big that thing is? So, all right, maybe just a little bit of perspective here. Let me go ahead and show you. Here is my foot. Caboose has got to be pretty close to, 55, 56 inches. Just an awesome animal. I really like Caboose. I don't handle my snakes a whole lot, but that's why I'm still a little bit unsure every once in a while about Caboose. I get the wrong impression every once in a while from her, but most of the time, Caboose is pretty good. Isn't that a good snake? Look at all these little alien heads. Pattern's pretty cool. So, like I said, Caboose is the very first ball python that I got. Very first snake in general, that I had got. And, my dad actually had a boa, and I think that's kind of what got me started into wanting to get my hands on a snake. So, I was renting an apartment, and I didn't want a cat. Cats were, cats kind of, there's Caboose. Cats kind of have a little stink and they need a little bit more care, and I traveled a lot for work and whatnot, so I couldn't really have a cat. So I found Caboose for sale on Craigslist, and I went and picked up Caboose, and when I got there, Caboose is like a baby, maybe a foot and a half, and I thought that was pretty funny. These people ended up saying they're saying it was way too big of a snake, and I was like, what are you even talking about? It's not even grown yet. So anyway, I brought Caboose home and set it up in the 10-gallon or 15-gallon tank that they had that came with Caboose, and that was my, I didn't really do a whole lot of research about it, but I ended up doing a whole bunch of reading and making sure that it was well within my capabilities, and that's kind of what got me started on making all these enclosures. Because I started experimenting with different enclosures, and I built Caboose. Caboose has kind of been the guinea pig, because I actually started experimenting with natural soils and whatnot, and I had planted grass and stuff for Caboose for a while. And, Caboose has had a long life with me. Caboose, Caboose is not wanting to be handled. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Caboose away because they're whipping around and whatnot. I'm not trying to get bit yet. Guinness is still yet to come out, and I want to handle him and possibly get bit by him, but not really by Caboose, because Caboose is pretty big. But where was I? I'm fairly certain that Caboose is just too hungry to be handled right now, and I don't want to be bitten, like I said. So anyway, I brought Caboose back, and Caboose, I've been experimenting with Caboose and enclosures and whatnot for a while. You know, geez, that was 4, 5 maybe? 2005? So yeah, I mean, Caboose, 15, maybe 16-year-old snake. Very cool. I really like the normals, and well, I'm actually gonna show you the rest of the snakes here very shortly, but Caboose I have just had for the longest, and that's the one I have the coolest story about. You know, I also have some other history about Caboose where Caboose had actually had a scratch, and if Caboose was going to behave, I was going to show that to you. So Caboose had a scratch on the belly, and it got a little bit of an infection, and I had to do some vet visits and whatnot to get that sorted out. So that was Caboose and my bonding experience very long ago, and Caboose is great. Caboose turns out to be a female. So, yeah, it still almost fits the name, but not quite. And I don't know, I'm really hopeful that Caboose can actually lay some eggs for me next year, and we could have some little Cabooses and Janes running around. Cool, well, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Mojave Ball Python. All right, guys, well, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out Andromeda, and this is the, well, I guess not really the newest snake, but she was at one point, and yeah, she's been pretty cool. We pull her out on and off every once in a while. Oh look, we even got a shed, woohoo! She's even bigger. Heck yeah, shed with a poop. Look at this little thing. Look at the color. Oh yeah, whoa, hey, pissy pants. Oh yeah. Whoa. See how her colors are a little bit more faded. That's the Mojave. She is one of the newer females that we got this year. She came with that terrarium. We did a little revamp on it. I'm gonna do another one. You see, she's keeping an eye on me, that's for sure. Hey, aren't you? Like I said, all these snakes are pretty hungry right now. So, you know, I am taking a little bit of a gamble here. Might get a little pop, but I'm waving my hand here to get her attention. Again, like I said, I don't really handle the snakes a whole lot. And to be fair, I don't really handle a whole lot of these animals a whole lot because we do have quite a number of them. And that is not, I enjoy watching them cruise around and just do their thing. So my goal here, if she can get maybe a little bit more size on her this year, gains a little bit more in size, I might pair her up as well with Jane, who hopefully here in just a minute we're gonna take a peek at. And I feel her starting to calm down and relax in my hand, which is an awesome sign. But if she starts cruising around, she still may try to just latch onto my arm, which would not be great. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her down too. And that's all for her. If I could get some Mojave dragonfly ball pythons, woo, wouldn't that be cool? So that was the Mojave. She's really fun. You know, she's still young. Maybe, you know, 1.5, 2 years old now. Probably getting close to time, hopefully, like I was saying, if she can gain a little bit more size. But now let's go ahead and take a look at Jane. We'll wrap up with, you know what? You know, no, we're doing Guinness right now. We're gonna do it. Right. Sure, okay. He's super active all the time. It's really pretty cool. He's super active. I really like the active animals. It makes it a little bit more fun. We get to watch him cruise around a whole lot more, and it's great. And let's see what happens, man. What happens? All right. Well, firstly, I'm just gonna let him crawl up and out on his own. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of like, hey, I'm here, look at me. He doesn't really like being touched. He's kicking a little bit. All right, hey bud. Hey Guinness, how's your close-up? Whoa. Hey bud, where are you trying to go? You happen to see Caboose there in the background too? I love his neck pattern. You see all those S's in his back? Yeah, that's him kind of like, ooh, hey bud. See those coils? See? See how he coils up a little bit? And now he's getting a little bit twitchier? They're all hungry. They're all very hungry, and he's just keying in on my hand. Now, they don't smell any rodents in here, but I am enticing him a little bit, and I shouldn't be doing that because that is how you get bit. And I don't want to leak today. I'm not trying to leak. So we'll get him back, Guinness. We'll get Guinness back down in there, and that'll be good for him. We'll get him put away. Although he and Caboose love to look at each other, and I think that's pretty cool to me. I see a little bit more. And now we'll move on to Jane. So again, he's another normal. He doesn't have any other genetics going on with him. He is just freaking awesome. All right, so I'm gonna get down here with Jane because I have to help get a little bit of shed off him, and that's why I put him in this little tub. And if you ever have an incident like I did here, where you have a little bit of a stuck shed on any of your snakes, just do a little bit of soaking. Certain snakes need a lot more monitoring because you want to make sure they don't, end up drowning. But ball pythons are actually pretty decent swimmers. So you could have a larger water tub, and typically they're supposed to lay in the water if they need to soak up some water, right? Well, sometimes they don't pay attention to that, and well, you end up with a little bit of blowout, and you can tell that the shed is just kind of stuck all over the cage instead of one entire thing, and that's when you have to soak them. So you want it just a little bit warm, and that's just to help loosen up all of the shed, and then it just peels right off. No big deal. Huh. He didn't even have that much stuck on him. He just likes to get it stuck on his neck. Whew. All right, well, I got him cleaned up. Now let's hope he just calms down. So my head is cut off a little bit, but here we go. So this is Jane. You don't need to see me anyway. This is Jane. He's a dragonfly ball python. I got him from BHB Reptiles. This is Brian Barczyk's store. And is that a cool snake? A yellow, little thin stripes, and he's beefy, and man, I love his face. His eyes are almost a little bit blue, a little bit difficult to see on camera, but he has definitely had his phases and moods and whatnot, but man, he's really pretty. And it is a male, and I'm pretty hopeful to see what could happen next year with some babies from him. This was the very first morph animal that I had gotten. And this was kind of what started the little bit of a project for me to see if maybe I could do something with him and Caboose and maybe make a couple of snakes of my own, because I thought that would be pretty intriguing. I've never done that before. The leopard geckos have taught me an awful lot about it. So I think we're pretty well set up for some baby snakes for next year. So hopefully we get 2 shots. But yeah, guys, like, man, these ball pythons are really pretty fun. So those are all the snakes that we have here, that I have here in the reptile room, and they all just happen to be ball pythons. Just one species of snake here, and again, that is Caboose, who here started it all. And then we had Jane, then Andromeda came, then we had Guinness arrive. And that it's been super fun to have them. You know, we've had a couple others in the past, and you know, things happen, animals don't thrive, and that is just the name of the game sometimes, and not everybody has to play. So I don't really know what other species of snake that I would probably want to keep. Maybe something a little bit on the larger side, just thicker, really. There are a couple of really very cool snakes that I think would be really fun to keep, but they're more like fish tank. The tentacled snakes, and they're super cool. And its scientific name is Reptile Tentaculatum. And I would love to get my hands on a pair, male-female pair, preferably. They give live birth. They are very cryptic in how they hunt. They just look like driftwood. They hang there, and what they do is they kick here and actually scare the fish into their mouth. And I think that's super crazy, and we have so many guppies here. Well, I'd love to get some. So yeah, if you know anybody has some, you know, hit me up. But yeah, guys, well, that's gonna do it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed all of the snakes. I really like them. They're super fun. No bites this time. They really need to eat some food so that they calm down a little bit. They're all like bottomless pits right now. They'll eat as much as I can give them, and that I actually limit their food pretty much. But you know, they're all excellent animals. If I were to recommend a snake, I would have to recommend a snake to you. It would be a ball python, and hopefully when I produce a couple of ball pythons next year, you guys can have a chance to purchase one of ours or get your hands on one, something. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's gonna do it for this one. We will see you guys next week. Oh yeah. Whoa. Hey. Hissy pants.